Have you ever wondered about failure? Nobody wants to talk about it. I don't like failure, and I'm very sure that you don't like failure. But do you know that failure needs to be celebrated at times? I'll tell you why. Welcome to me, where we motivate, educate, and engage one another in topics that impact on us, ourselves, our community, especially when it gets to being to thinking about our well-being, even in life. So today I'm talking about failure. Oh gosh, celebrate failure? Can you imagine that? I found out recently that there's a country that celebrates failure one day a week, and that country happens to be Finland. Finland started celebrating failure in October 2010, and they had their first one, and people were wondering, why are you doing this? Why are you celebrating failure? And they came up with so many reasons. And because of what they started doing, the first year, the second year, it has impacted on a lot of people, whether they're entrepreneurs, whether they're families, whether they're businessmen, and they've been going on for 8 years now. And I want to tell you why. They say that a need to succeed has created many talented people. But when people succeed and they celebrate success, there are other people that see them succeed and feel discouraged. They feel insecure. They feel that they're failures, and they go back to. In fact, they don't try. They just don't try. They said, "What's the point? He's a success story," and that's why many times we only see the people that are successful. And do you know that can be intimidating at times? You see people that are doing well in the media, people that are doing well, they're doing well in their studies. Somebody has become a doctor, but they don't know what happened between the beginning and that time of success. So, in fact, the reason why people now say, "Oh, what's the point? Why should I do it?" Then you now realize that they don't want to do it because they feel that I'm going to fail and he succeeded and I can't. They also said something. They said making mistakes is a normal and healthy part of life, which goes towards success rather than detracting from it. So the fact is, you can make mistakes. It's part of life. But people from my culture, we just like, nah, no, nobody must see. Even if I make that mistake, nobody must know about it. Let me just hide it under the carpet. I just want them to see how good I am, how I can do this. But to be honest, that is not it. That is not being real. Making mistakes is a healthy part of life that we can learn from, and then we can now say, okay, I messed up there. What can I do next? It might be in terms of maybe a business plan, or maybe the way I did an application form, or maybe the way I was supposed to speak and I didn't speak. Even in recording, you can just like, oh gosh, okay, Michael, we need to do this again. But that is life. Life is about making mistakes, getting up again, and going. It's healthy if we want to believe it is. They also said something. If big names and high achievers speak out and explain the setbacks they have had in their own lives or in their own journey on the way to success and how they learn from them, it will provide inspiration for others. I believe that you and I would like that a lot. Once you succeed, you'd like to tell them, look, it wasn't easy. This is what I had to go through. This is the journey I've taken. I think that makes life more real to somebody who wants to take that same path or to go on that same journey. So I think high achievers, successful people, we need to be honest with one another and come out and say, you know what? It wasn't always like this. I wasn't always this good. I wasn't always this excellent in my job. I wasn't always a good doctor. I've messed up. When you do that, I think it will help the younger generation that will just want to see things happen here and now. They can take the plunge and say, you know what, if you could do it, so can I. Making mistakes, listening to people that have succeeded, be honest enough and be real enough to tell their own journey. Encouraging people to try new or difficult things without worrying about the consequences gives them the confidence to step out of their comfort zone and enjoy the activity. Many times we don't want to do things because we're worried about, what if it doesn't happen? What if I fail? What if people laugh at me? What if this happens? But when you now say, you know what, I might fail at this, but it's better failing than never trying. And that gives you the boost to say, let me just try something new. You know, I love the young people. You know, I think that when they're young, between the ages of 8, 9, 10 to, you know, they just want to take risks. They just want to do crazy things. I remember myself at that age as well. You just want to do things. Even sometimes it can be on the other side, the negative side. But there's something, there's this hormone in young people that wants them to take risk. So why don't we take risk, you know, in doing things that, we might fail, we might mess up, but we can do it. So I think that it's worth listening to. It's worth, it's worth thinking about for ourselves, for our children, to encourage people to say, try this. It's better to try, and without worrying about what if. Because once that worrying factor gets into your head, you're not going to want to do anything. So I just want to encourage us this time on this video, on me today. Failure is not a negative thing. Failure can be celebrated. It's the way you look at it. We don't need to hide behind the curtain and say, nobody must know that I failed. Or if I fail, I can't get up again. No, you can and you should. Many of us have failed in life. We've failed in so many things, but we're not talking about it. But I think the more we talk about where we failed and where we've messed up, I think it's very helpful. Some days ago, I was speaking to my son, and we're just talking about things generally. And he was saying something to me. He said, you know what, Mom? I'd rather take a risk and do something than look back a few years later and keep on wondering, what if, what if, what if? Because thinking and wondering about what if is stress on its own. It also impacts on your security. It also impacts on your confidence, and you keep on wondering what if. Celebrate the failures you have, in the sense that you're going to do something better about that failure. That is what we're talking about. So kudos to Finland, and I hope we can take a clue from that and say, you know what, we can celebrate failures because we know we're going to be successful in the future. Even now. If you've been watching, my name is Margaret. I work with families to build, to empower, to engage. I do a lot of work in the community about training, mentoring, coaching. I support a lot of families that have no recourse to public funds. And I also work with an organization to make sure that we run holiday clubs and things that will empower, that will give people a boost in life. So thank you for watching. If you want to call, if you want to send an email, please see the link below, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.